Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 30 October 2025. It is Thursday night at 9. That means it's time for a knife sale on the Apostle P channel, and a knife sale we shall have. And it's kind of a spectacular one, I think. Even have a couple watches tonight. Before we get into the thick of it, let's do a little bit of housekeeping as usual. First off, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale, which I will post on the screen for you in just a moment. I will also print them in the description underneath this video. Also in the description, at the very top, you're going to see 3 links to previous videos on my channel. The first one is called A Primer for Buyers. It pertains specifically to this weekly sales event, and it explains how this madness all works from the buyer's perspective. It's a great addendum, a great reference piece to the terms of the sale. It explains exactly how we do things and why. And it might not be familiar to you, especially if you're new. So please watch that video and it'll make it all clear, I promise. The second link is called FAQs for Consignors. If you didn't know, the inventory, the content of what's available on these sale videos is almost all consignment inventory. So it comes from other people, not me. And if you're interested in using this weekly sales event to move along some of your collection and have them featured on this weekly video, that video will explain how it all works. The third link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So in the all-important video description, you will see those 3 links at the top. Down in the middle, you'll see the terms of the sale. And then at the bottom, you will see the glorious list of tonight's inventory, complete with timestamps down the left side so you can click to the segment for the knife you're interested in. And on the right, you will see the pricing. Generally, in the pricing column, you'll see 2 numbers. The one to the left of the slash is the price of your knife as shown in the video. The one on the right is its price as sharpened by the TheApostleP Knife Service. So if you want to buy a knife and you want me to sharpen it before I ship it, that's your price. This week, there will be room for 4 knives to be sharpened next day. So Friday, the 31st. If you are one of the first 4 to purchase a knife to be sharpened, it'll be done tomorrow and it'll ship with all of the as shown inventory on Friday. If you're outside that first 4, not to worry. Current backlog is less than 3 weeks. So it won't be long before you get your knife. Now, if you see the word sold, all caps exclamation point, in lieu of a price for any given item, that means it's been bought and paid for by its new owner. So no need to send an inquiry or an I'll take it message about anything marked sold. I think that's it for the preliminaries. Let's get the terms up on the screen for you, and we'll be right back with the sale. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we've got just 3 leftovers from last week. You guys kind of killed it last week. First one is from Kizer in the old sleeved velveteen clamshell box. The label is almost right. This is a Kizer Deviant designed by Sheepdog Knives. It is not, however, white G10. It is not that. It is instead the model number V3575A1 Deviant with the linen micarta scales and copper bolsters. Now, if you look this knife up online, it's going to say that this is green micarta. It is not. It actually is much closer to the copper color of the bolsters. But anyway, pretty sweet little gents EDC blade, I would say. 4 3/16 enclosed length. Pocket clip is going to be a tumble polished steel clip deep carry right hand tip up only. Knife opens with thumb studs. Kind of a bellied sheep's foot design. Blade steel is Bowler M390. Blade length is 3 inches. It is a stainless steel liner lock knife. There is your lock engagement. Rock solid lockup. Smooth, free ball bearing action. Centering on this knife will be perfect. We'll call it near mint, in the right box with the wrong label, if that makes any sense. This model is discontinued and out of stock. When they were available, they had a web retail of $149. We ran this one last week at $95, didn't sell, dropped it to $80 for the weekend. Still here. Your price this week, $70, like it is, $95 with an ApostleP edge on that M390 blade, and next day sharpening is available. That is the Deviant in Micarta and copper from Kizer. Next, we have one from Hinderer Knives, made in the United States of America. The knife in the box is an Eklipse 3.5-inch Spearpoint in S45 VN with the tri-way pivot, stone-washed bronze anodized titanium frame, and translucent green G10, or natural, or jade. There is the knife. I love me some jade G10. And doesn't that look spectacular? Hardware is bright. You're going to see just some slight scuffing on the clip, but the stonewash hides it beautifully. Flips like a rocket. The bearings are installed. I don't know that I call that a spear point, but I'd call it a harpoon clip point. But, you know, Hinderer is Hinderer. Appears to be kind of a nice skinnier grind. There's your lock engagement on your steel inserted titanium frame lock. Very close to 50%. Got your Hinderer lock bar stabilizer under the tip of the clip. Rock solid lockup. Nice free ball bearings. And how's the centering? Bang. Near mint in box. Out of stock at $425 web retail. We ran this last week at $375. Dropped it to $350 for the weekend. Pretty good price for a not in stock Hinderer knife, I thought, but it's still here. So let's go $330 this week, like it is $355 with my edge on that S45 blade. The Eklipse 3.5 spear point from Hinderer. Well, that'll bring us to our last leftover knife from last week. It is a fixed blade offering from Giant Mouse. Let's see. Here's our label. The knife inside is the GMF Giant Mouse Fixed number 4 in red with a PVD blade. What, red? First, let's talk about this. Because this is a Maniago-made knife, we get this gorgeous Italian leather sheath. Nice snap. Come on, baby. Look at that. It is a tumbled PVD finish on a gorgeous clip point blade designed by Vox and Anso. The handle is in red canvas micarta. You can grip it back here. You can grip it up here. You get 2 runs of jimping. Blade length on the GMF4 is 5 5/8. The blade steel's Bowler N690. The handle is 4 13/16. Looks like the scales are removable. There's your made in Italy etch. Nice crown spine and belly. Beautiful knife. So let's see. I'm going to call this like new in box. This model is available new for a web retail price of $265. We ran this one last week at $185. It didn't sell. We dropped it to $170 for the weekend. Still here. Your price this week is going to be $160 like it is. $190 with an ApostleP edge. That's the GMF4 in red and PVD from Giant Mouse. And that brings us already to the fresh stuff for this week. We're going to start it off with an icon from Benchmade. It's the 275 FE-2 full-size Adamas in OD G10, a flat dark earth Cerakote blade, and crew wear. There it is. Such an awesome knife, designed by Shane Sibbert. You've got 3D machined OD green, kind of a blasted finish G10 scale set. Parkerized or black oxide coated deep carry butterfly clip that is ambidextrous tip up. Knife opens on thumb studs, rides on phosphor bronze washers, and it has an axis lock. Heavy axis lock. Look at the diameter of the stop pin and the lock bar. It is a near total free dropper. It has rock solid lockup. Blade length on your Adamas is 3 3/4. The handle is 5 1/8. It is a dream in the hand. Such a beauty. Nice thud when it closes too. Rock solid lockup. And the centering, well, how about that, Benchmade? Good job, boys. I would call it perfect. I'll say the condition is near mint to like new in box with sheath, which is a work of art in and of itself, by the way. Great snap. And then to open it, you've got this, great for gloved hands, right? You just yank it. And the molly strap is in the box, by the way. So if you don't want to clip it to a pocket, if you have a loadout that includes a load-bearing vest of some kind, molly it on there. There you go. So your price, let's see. Available new for $325 MAP, web retail. Let's go $200 on this one, like it is $220 with an ApostleP Edge. Next day sharpening is available. Next up, another black box Benchmade. This one contains the model number 430BK-02. It's the murdered Redoubt in, well, it says D2, but it's really not. It's CPM D2. A completely different animal, by the way. So this is the black version. If you remember, the original Redoubt is green and gray. This one all black. And the interesting thing is, it's got a grivery handle, but the smoothly stippled part are two pieces, and then this sort of checkered or micro frag pattern piece is not just a difference in the mold, that's actually an integral back strap. Okay, so one piece enveloping both sides of the spine of the knife. And then you've got this end-mounted black oxide or parkerized deep carry ambidextrous tip-up clip, so super deep carry. Axis lock mechanism, rides on phosphor bronze. You got this gorgeous drop point blade in CPM D2, which would be the crucible equivalent of CTS XHP. A lot of people don't know that CTS XHP is just basically a powdered metal analog to D2. And it makes D2 into a quite wonderful thing. 3.5 inches of blade, 4 13/16 inches of handle, rock solid axis lock lockup. Very close to a free dropper, eminently flingable. Lockup is rock solid. And the centering on this Redoubt is, well, let's call it very close. I think it might favor the bottom scale as you're looking at it just ever so slightly. It's near mint to like new in box. Currently available in this configuration for a web retail of $200. Let's go $130 on this one. $150 with an ApostleP Edge, and next day sharpening is available. Next up, first save me from myself moment. Why do I not own one of these? I do not know. I think I have owned one. It's a blue box Benchmade containing the 580 Barrage. You've got a fully steel-lined axis lock knife, scaled in Valox, which is a molded polymer material. And you'll notice there's a spine-mounted safety. It's not an auto axis, but it is an axis assist, spring assisted knife. Touch it off and out she flies. The blade is in 154 cm. It is a sweet swedged Spearpoint. 3 5/8 inches of blade, 4 3/4 inches of handle. Your pocket clip is the parkerized split arrow, ambidextrous tip up. Lockup, dead rock solid. Centering is what? Your eyes do not deceive you. It's a perfectly centered Benchmade. And the action is spring assist, beautiful. Near mint to like new in box. The OG Barrage still being produced and sold. It'll cost you $220 to buy a new one, which I think is kind of silly for a knife that's been in production as long as this has, but not to worry. You can buy this near mint to like new in box example for $130 right now. $150 with an ApostleP edge. Next day sharpening is available. That is the 580 Barrage from Benchmade. Next up, we have another Benchmade lacking a box. Oh, it's going to ship in a Civivi pouch. That's just wrong. It'll be priced accordingly. The knife inside is this little beauty right here. It's the 3375 GY Mini Claymore OTF. So usually when you see GY in a model number for a Benchmade, it means gray. Well, that handle is clearly black. It is Grivery. This is one of the Grivery handled Benchmade OTF Auto family. They weigh nothing. And the blade comes almost out of the center, which is rare for an OTF knife. Side-mounted button, dual action. There's your GY. The blade is gray. And that's gray PVD. It is not Cerakote. What a stunner, man. This is also in CPM D2, an absolutely wonderful steel. It is a quad-beveled dagger blade, but it is, as you can see by the bevel, it's chisel ground bevels, which makes it maybe a little easier to sharpen. Not that it needs it. All it needs to do is pierce, right? Button effort medium. Absolutely 100% reliable. Let's see. Dimensions, you got a 2 15/16 blade on the Mini Claymore. 4 1/8 handle. Near mint, no box. Available new, Benchmade map price web retail for $350. That's insane. That's why this one is only going to cost you $225. No need to sharpen. The Mini Claymore OTF, black handle, gray blade from Benchmade. Next, we have the Rob's Pick in tonight's sale. What an icon. I would say that this knife single-handedly, in collaboration with Rick Hinderer, took the ZT Experiment, the Zero Tolerance Knives brand, which was like the ZT in the old days was to Kershaw as Lexus is to Toyota, right? And the brand was dying on the vine. They were making bulky, short-bladed, recurve things designed by Ken Onion, and frankly, the Onion thing was over and the brand was dying. Enter Rick Hinderer and the ball-bearing flipper. We got the ZT0560, and the fortunes of zero-tolerance knives changed forever. And here it is. Looks like I got a little soiling in my 3D machined, beautifully milled G10 scale. Same mill pattern on the titanium frame. Now this is a low number. It's serial number 1193. So it's a Gen 1, right? You got the Hinderer lock bar stabilizer, no steel insert in the titanium frame lock, 4-way deep carry clip that does have some very minor scuffing. And then you got this ball bearing flipper. Yes, gorgeous swedged spear in LMAX, and then there's your serial number right there. This one has been reprofiled to, I'm going to say 15 degrees. So you got that. So it is not a pristine example. It has been resharpened. And frankly, it's got some wear on that edge. But cosmetically, the knife's pretty squared away, I would say. Lockup. Now, this is a non-inserted titanium frame lock. It's just about exactly 50%. I got no play. You can muscle a very minute amount of lock slip, but there's no stick. I mean, when I say very minute, I mean extremely minute. But you'd probably rather have that than a lot of stick. Probably a carburized lock face. Ball bearings are silky smooth. The centering's perfect. I'm going to call the condition on this excellent inbox. Reprofile noted. These are discontinued, not a stock. Users on eBay, low 200s. Pristine collectibles, sold listings on eBay up to $450, $460. Okay. This one is a pretty righteous example. Let's go $250 like it is, $280 with an TheApostleP edge. That is the ZT0560, number 1193 from Zero Tolerance. Next up, guys, somebody hit refresh on this one. The ZT0450 Dmitry Sinkovich design, originally scaled in all black carbon fiber. This is rocking the new blue. And wait, there's more. What do I say? Oh, I think that says Magna Cut. It does. Beautiful, beautiful. Gents EDC. Blade length 3 1/4. Handle length 4 3/16. So very efficient blade to handle ratio. This is wearing a deep carry titanium pocket clip. I don't know who made it. Could be a Lynch. I don't know. It'll go ambidextrous tip up. No factory clip is included, by the way. Got your blue standoffs. There's your lock engagement on your steel inserted titanium frame lock. It is rock solid. Ball bearings are smooth and free. Centering on this one, doggone it, it's like perfect. Near mint, no box, no original clip. Little scuffing on the titanium. These are $256 map price currently available. I mean, $256 plus tax for a new one. Or for this one, get your Magna Cut 450 for $170 like it is. $195 with my edge. Next up, here's the buy of the sale, boys. Absolutely the buy of the sale. It is a Kershaw 7650 launch 13. So you get that highly stylized milled black hard anodized aluminum scale set. You get your shorty deep carry clip. And you have your button lock auto, revealing that stunning stylized Wharncliffe blade. Grinder satin with a little bit of two-tone. The flats and that, I don't know what you'd call that, depression. Those are in black DLC. Okay. Since CPM 154, as most launches are, and you'll notice the 4 X's. That means it's a factory second. 3 7/16 blade, 4.5 handle. Lockup is dead rock solid. Centering is perfect. And it opens like a rocket. Frankly, guys, I can't find why this is a second. I do not know. Because if I didn't see the 4 X's, I would tell you it's a perfect example. So, I don't know. There is some super slight clip wear, not even through the coating, around the hole. I mean, like nothing. But that's a great utility blade and a cool auto at the same time. So yeah, map price web retail for these currently available $165 plus tax. This one, other than the 4X's, I don't know what makes it a second. Your price $80 like it is, $100 with my edge. That's the Launch 13 factory second from Kershaw. Next up, there's no box with that one, by the way, and no box with this one. This is another Kershaw, the model 1870 BLUBW, which means blue handle, black wash blade. Model is the Knockout. And as you would expect, it has blue hard anodized aluminum scales. I'm going to try to get the light to reflect the very slight snail trails in that anodized coating. It's been carried just a little. Some extremely minor clip wear, just one little, oh, it's not even a scratch. It was just a piece of contamination. So 4-way, deep carry, shorty clip, stainless steel subframe lock. And it is a speed safe spring assisted flipper. Black wash blade in Bowler M390. Blade length is 3 1/8. The handle's 4 3/4. There's your lockup. If you can see that, there you go. I'll call it 45.5%. Rock solid lockup. Super in the hand. And the centering on this one, I'm calling it very close, but I think it favors the top scale slightly. I thought I could relieve the pivot tension a little bit and have it center up, but if I did that, it got a little blade play. So lockup is rock solid like it is. Condition, I'm going to say near mint, no box. Very slight trails. Discontinued and out of stock. I found one sold listing on eBay, but it was just the naked stonewash blade. That did $125 shipped. On this one, let's do $105 like it is. $130 with an ApostleP edge on the rare M390 Knockout. And I think the best colorway, by the way, from Kershaw. Next up, this is a knife from Spyderco that I don't think gets nearly enough respect. The Native 5, we'll call it a PJ, right? Black G10 S30 V blade midlock. It is economical to carry. For those of you who don't know, delve into the history of the Native. This is the 5th version. A knife originally spec'd to Spyderco by Walmart. Yeah. The original Native, Spyderco wanted to get onto the shelves at Walmart back in the day, like late 80s, early 90s. And Walmart looked at the Spyderco catalog and said, ain't nobody that walks into a Walmart gonna buy a knife with a silly hump in the blade. So the engineers at Spyderco went to work to de-hump the Spyderco, and they came out with the Native. And a legend was born. We're now in our 5th iteration. There are lots of Natives, actually. But this is kind of the OG dimensions, right? And it's been updated over the years. We got S30V steel. We have the bushing pivot from the Paramilitary 2 family of knives. It doesn't flick open very well because of the location of the hole, because the hump's missing, but it sweeps beautifully. And also, you know, the midlocks, backlocks, not great flick open knives in general, with some exceptions, but here you go. Beautiful glass bead over a tumble on the S30V. The blade length is 2 15/16. The handle is 4 inches. It's an ergonomic dream in a variety of grips. The lockup is immensely solid. This knife made in Golden, Colorado. Because of the bushing pivot, we can go very little tension side to side and still have solid lockup. Blade centering is perfect. I think this is an absolutely beautiful example. I'm going to call it near mint to like new in box. This model is available new for a Spyderco map price or web retail of $202 plus tax. This one can be yours, all in, shipped priority mail, $135 like it is, $155 with an ApostleP edge, the native 5 from Spyderco. Next up, another refresh on an old Spyderco design, but this is not the current refresh. It's a Spyderco military, not a 2, but scaled in Burple G10 with an S110V blade. All right. Don't sleep on S110, by the way. It is a great EDC blade steel. Great edge retention without being super chippy, in my opinion. Less chippy than S90. You got your right hand tip down only pocket clip. You got 4 inches of satin finished S110V made in Golden, Colorado, USA earth. I got a stainless steel liner lock that's locking up at about, 48%. Rock solid. Nice free blade. Centering on this particular example is, I said perfect. It's pretty doggone close. Condition will be near mint to like new in box. These are still available, although they're discontinued because we're into the military 2 age now. But they're $285. If you hurry, you can still buy one before they're gone. But why would you? Because you can buy this one for $190 like it is, $215 with an ApostleP edge. The military in Burple, an S110V from Spyderco. Next up, we have a plastic bag that could be a Hinderer bag. I don't know. The item inside the bag is a Hinderer, but it's not a knife. It is a titanium scale for an XM18 3.5 inch, and it's in OD green anno. It is a genuine Hinderer part, and it looks to me like it has been installed, but it ain't hurt. We'll call it near mint in baggy, no box. You can buy these if they're currently available. I'm not sure, but if they were, you could buy them for $200 web retail, whether it's from Hinderer or from a retailer. This one can be yours, $135 all in, shipped priority mail. That is the textured titanium OD green factory scale for a Hinderer XM18 3.5 inch. Next up, here's an interesting piece. It is a Hinderer knife. It comes in a poly Ziploc bag. And we had one of these a few weeks ago. This consignor, from the same consignor, by the way, it's a sterile XM18. There are no etches of any kind. I do know just from his records that it is a CPM 20 CV knife. And you'll notice it's a non-flipper. And if you look closely inside, you'll see Teflon washers. It is not a tri-way knife, so it's like a Gen 4, I think. Whatever those gens are. Very well cared for. Stonewash frame and clip that look pretty pristine. Stonewash blade as well. It is a slicer. This is a non-inserted titanium frame lock, locking up at about 25-30%. It is absolutely rock solid with no slip, no rock, no stick. Beautiful free blade. Look at that. How about that? Nice detent and bang on centering. Near mint, no box. Perfect example, I'm saying. Out of stock. If they were available, they'd be $425 web retail. Now I realize the non-flippers, not super popular. I don't think the tri-way matters in a non-flipper. But anyway, OD green G10 scale. Let's go 325 like it is. 350 with an ApostleP edge. That's the XM18 3.5-inch slicer, non-flipper, sterile from Hinderer. You could, I guess, if you really like titanium, you could chuck that OD green scale, put the OD green titanium on. You know, you could buy both. I wouldn't hate you for it. Next up, is this our last Hinderer item? It is. Look at that. We got a little box, boys. Little box. Inside comes a Halftrack with a slicer ground blade, tri-way pivot. The colorway is battle blue, and that would be the titanium bits. And then you have a black G10 overlay or a scale over the titanium on the show side. But what we got going on here, guys? I got this other bag, and that looks like it's the original scale set for the show side, because it is. So it's wearing a Hinderer accessory scale, all titanium in battle blue. And, you know, you can tell that some Hinderer tinkering has been done. The fasteners have been operated. It's a steel inserted titanium frame lock with the Hinderer lock bar stabilizer. This model is capable of accepting the Hinderer MBS modular backspacer system, but this is just running standoffs. Tri-way pivot, bearings installed. So it's a ball bearing flipper. There's your slicer grind. Your blade is 20 CV. Blade is 2 3/4 inches in length. The handle's 3 15/16. Lockup is rock solid. It's at about 30%. Flips great. Centers perfectly. We'll call this an excellent inbox. There's some trails. But it's battle blue. It doesn't care, right? See a little bit of pocket wear back here. So yeah. Then you got to add the price of the scale, right? So there, it would be $425 web retail, plus that scale, which has got to be a $200 scale. And you got your, I mean, buy the knife, sell the scale if you don't, you know, whatever. Your price $375 for the whole shooting match, $400 with my edge on that 20 CV blade. That's the Halftrack slicer plus titanium scale from Hinderer. Next up, it is Boker Plus time, my friends. Let's see, where's this one made? Made in the PRC. That is the People's Republic of China, I believe, right? Look at that. So we have kind of a swayback Quiken looking handle, sort of. That is stainless steel, by the way. That is not titanium. It is acid stonewash stainless steel. And it's scaled in a burlap micarta that is very slightly, I don't know if you can tell, but it has a crown longitudinally. Pretty cool. Milled titanium right-hand tip-up pocket clip. It is a front flipper riding on ball bearings with, I'm going to say, a Japanese Tanto style blade. Gorgeous swedge. Beautiful grinds on this thing. It's VG10, and notice the acid stonewash on the blade matches the hardware. They call this the Sanjo model 01BO907. Blade length is 3 7/16. The handle's 4 5/8. Stainless steel liner lock at about, not quite 50% lockup. Rock solid. Nice ball bearing action. Perfect centering. Let's see. Yep, it's a front flipper for idiots, because I can do it. Super cool in the hand. Probably likes a reverse grip. Yes, it does. Oh, yeah. Condition, near mint in box. Currently available at your favorite Boker Plus dealer for $121 web retail. Let's go $75 on this. Did I say right hand tip up milled titanium clip? Yeah. $75 like it is $100 with an ApostleP edge and next day sharpening is available. That's the Sanjo from Boker Plus. Next up, what do we have here? Looks like a Chaves Blue Label knife. Redencion 229 Tanto, handled in red G10 with a blackout Elmax blade. So this is interesting because the only website I could find these on was Chaves' website, and it calls it an exclusive. So does that mean it was not available to retailers? I don't know. You guys know I'm not into the Chinese stuff. But anyway, pretty cool knife. So a less expensive price point than the normal Ultramar series from Ramon. This is a good looking knife. Love the red G10. Love how it plays with the black hardware. You only get one clip with the blue label, and it's going to be the Mick Jagger skull clip, milled titanium, right hand tip up. Knife opens with thumb studs. Rides on ball bearings. There is, what do they call that? Blackout. So it's a tumbled DLC or something like DLC. Good looking. Your blade length, 3.5. Handle length, 4 9/16. It is a stainless steel liner lock, locking up at about 50%. Ball bearings are silky smooth and free. Great detent, locks up like a bank vault. Centers perfectly. Condition near mint to like new in box. This model is still available from Chaves' website for $180. This one, $135 like it is, all in, shipped priority mail. $165 with my edge on that Tanto blade. The blue label Redencion 229 Tanto in red from Chaves. Next up, no box, just a poly bag. I have an offering from Asher Knives. It seems like we sold one of these a few weeks ago. This is the Spiro in silver twill carbon fiber from Asher Knives. Great looking scale set. I mean, great looking scale set. Pocket clip. Ambidextrous tip up wire deep carry. Knife opens with a hole. Rides on ball bearings. You got a beautiful stonewash blade in, hard to see there, right there, 20 CV with a Wharncliffe blade, and it's a stunning little Wharnie. And it's great in the hand. Nice run of jimping. You got 3 3/16 inches of blade, 4 3/16 inches of handle. Just classic design styling. Beautiful proportions. Great EDC size. Good ergos. Lockup. Solid. Centering. I think it favors the lock side ever so slightly. Condition will be near mint, no box. Currently available for a web retail of $135. Your price for this one, $85. Like it is. $110 with an ApostleP edge on that Wharncliffe blade, and next day sharpening is available. The Spiro from Asher Knives. Next up, we have to turn the page if I want to read my copy. I could wing it, but nothing good happens when I do that. We got one from Monterey Bay Knives, MBK. Comes in a pouch. with a cloth, some extra bearings and hardware. It is the Monterey Bay Sabertooth in one of 2 milled titanium scale sets. So this is that sort of sunburst Doppler-y thing. There's also a diamond milled pattern. Interesting knife. I think you can front flip it. If I can do it, you can do it. Or you could open it with the hole, which looks like a Spyderco bird hole. The blade is a very interesting broad spear with a fuller in CPM S90V. It's 3 13/16 inches long. Kind of a longer blade than it looks, right? And then the handle just 4 11/16. So super efficient blade to handle ratio. It's a stainless steel liner lock knife, locking up at about 40%. Rock solid. Ball bearing pivot, of course. Pocket clip milled titanium. Ambidextrous tip up. Thank you, Monterey Bay. Everything's squared away, guys. I don't think there's a mark on it that I could find. So we'll call it near mint in pouch. Currently available new for $150 web retail. Let's go $100 on this one. Like it is $125 with my edge on the S90V blade. The Sabertooth in milled titanium from Monterey Bay. Next up, our first of 2 watches in tonight's sale. So this is going to come in a G-Shock box, but it does not have it's not the right box. It is not a GA700-1 BCR, nor is it a 5522 module. This watch, and kind of a stunner, don't you think? This is the GM110-1A running the 5553 module. Well, they got a MSRP of $200. So it's an Anadigi watch, negative display, and you probably can't tell in my studio lights, but the negative display is actually pretty good. And if it's not good enough for you, you have your super LED backlight, which I think comes from, does it just come from one direction? Yeah, I guess it does. So you got some of your functions like your world time stuff up in this top window. Then you got your digital time in seconds here. I think that'll display date as well. It's got all your usual G-Shock toys, right? 45 by 52.3 lug to lug, and 16.5 thick to the very top of the tallest rider tab. Proprietary lug width, right? I don't know that there's a mark on this watch. There's fingerprints, but... And then you got a good-looking resin bracelet. Just one keeper as usual. Very, very near mint in box, but it's the wrong box. These actually sell anywhere from $144 to the MSRP of $200 at various websites. Let's do this one at $110 like it is. No need to sharpen. That's the G-Shock GM110-1A. Next up, we got another watch, and this one, pretty special. It's a Mido, part of the Swatch Group, Swiss brand, Swiss made. Inside the box, we got another box. We have instruction manual. It may come to this watch, I don't know. We've got a Mido warranty card, not filled out, probably purchased from a gray market site like Joma's shop originally. It is the Mido. Ready? M026629170510. Reference. It is an Ocean Star automatic dive watch with the GMT function. And a date at 3. Inky black dial. Can't tell if those indices are embossed or applied, doesn't really matter. Ceramic bezel in blue, and then the GMT hour chapter ring is in blue for the daylight hours and in black for the nighttime hours. Skeletonized handset with loom. Nice loomed end to the GMT hand and the seconds hand. 316L stainless steel case. Mostly satin with some little polished chamfers. Running the ETA C07.661 automatic movement. It's from the Powermatic 80 series, but it's got the GMT function. It is a true GMT. So if I pull out to the first click, my local time hand is going to move. The date does have to be set using that local time hand, so it doesn't have the kind of a date function where you can toggle back across the 12, you know. So there's that. It's been running since I wound it and set it for about 24 hours. Let's see how we're doing on time. It's about plus 1 second. That's pretty good. Dimensions are 44 diameter, 13.3 thick, 50 lug to lug, 22 millimeter lug width. Got the screw down case back, screw down crown. The strap is a factory Mito strap, and it's a hybrid, backed in leather, and then it's like a sailcloth. Signed buckle. Signed crown. Pretty nice piece. I really don't find any damage on this watch. Sapphire crystal, by the way. So we'll call it near mint in box. Just a little wrist wear on the polished case back. I guess that's about it. Currently available new, the best price I could find was at Joma Shop, $905. Your price for this one, $625, all in, shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen. That's the Mito automatic GMT Ocean Star dive watch. Beautiful. Next up, we have a Benchmade knife with no box. It is the 495 Vector, a fairly recent release from Benchmade, scaled in 3D machine black G10. It is an axis assist mechanism, so you get the spine-mounted safety. And the axis assist, of course, is spring-assisted, has a flipper and a flipper only. It is a saber-ground and swedged Spearpoint blade in S30V. The blade length is 3 9/16. The handle is 4 13/16. Tumble polished ambidextrous tip-up deep carry pocket clip. Lockup, rock solid. Centering, we're going to call that, you could call it perfect. You could call it very, very, very close. Condition, near mint, no box. These are available new for a web retail or Benchmade MAP price of $395. Can that be right? It is right. $325. Duh. Your price for this one, though, because that's way too high. Let's go $195 like it is, $215 with an ApostleP Edge. Next day sharpening is available. That's the Vector from Benchmade. Next up, we have another boxless Benchmade. So we had a Crewwear OD and FDE full-size Adamas earlier in the sale. Now we have a mini Adamas, model 273GY-1, which is black G10, gray blade, and Crewwear. Okay. Beautiful 3D machine black G10 blasted finish scale set. Parkerized deep carry ambidextrous tip-up clip. Axis lock mechanism. Heavy hardware, right? The robust axis lock opens with thumb studs, finished in a gray Cerakote, I believe. CPM crew wear. Blade length on the mini Adamas is 3 1/4. The handle's 4 1/2. Lock up, dead rock solid. Free swinging blade. Man, that's beautiful phosphor bronze action. And blade centering will be perfection. Near mint, no box. This model currently available brand new at your favorite Benchmade web retailer for $290. Let's go $180 on this one. $200 if you'd like it with an Apostle P edge, and next day sharpening is available. The mini Adamas in black and gray and crew wear from Benchmade. Next up is another Benchmade. You do get a box with this one, and it's a big box because it's a fixed blade. A relatively new release. It's the 203. I don't know how you say that. Dacian? I don't know. But I think it might have a Magna Cut blade. Pretty sweet. Now, I did find this knife model listed online with a leather sheath. This is a much nicer sheath system. It's a brown molded polymer sheath with a pocket clip. Zero rattle, great retention. And here's the knife. Magna Cut. I will call that a saber ground Spearpoint with jimping everywhere. Does that mean it wants you to use it as a hunting / gutting knife? I think it likes that. Full tang knife, scaled in blue denim micarta. The hardware is copper in color. I'm not sure what the material is. I would expect that it's aluminum or titanium anodized that color. Blade length is 3 1/2 inches. The handle's 4 1/16. Ergos are very sound. Condition, near mint to like new in box. Currently available for a web retail or Benchmade map price of gulp, $300. What would Kurt Russell say? That's too high. Let's go 210 shipped priority mail like it is. $235 with my edge on the Magna Cut blade. That's the 203 Dacian from Benchmade. And I always forget which way it goes. Not that way. That way. Next. It is time for some Great Eastern cutlery, my friends. Got a couple of them. Here's the first one. It's a Northfield unexcelled pocket knife. Model 749er 123 cotton sampler and Chechen rosewood. What a beauty. What a beauty. I love the 74. You know I love the 74. I also dig the chatoyance of that Chechen rosewood. You got a houndstooth shield. You got triple-lined nickel-silver bolsters and brass liners with a brass lanyard tube. And here is your cut swedge, match striker long pull, cotton sampler blade. Super sweet. 1095 steel. 3 7/8 closed length. Pull weight, just a 7. How most people like them. Beautiful walk and talk. Perfect centering. Condition near mint to like new in tube. You can't buy a new one, of course. You can buy this one, though. All in, shipped priority mail, $130. $145 with my edge on that cotton sampler blade. The GEC Northfield number 74 cotton sampler. Beauty. Next up, another GEC, this one from the Titty line. It is the Urban Jack, model number 153224 in elderberry jig bone. Comes with a button and a knife. That elderberry is quite red. Not much purple going on, and very little pinkness, which is good. Brass pins, brass lanyard tube, plain nickel silver bolsters, and a pretty highly finished shield, which is a lot for a titty knife, right? Urban Jack. Brass liners. You've got a main blade that is a sheep's foot, and with many of these, the etch actually got into the edge bevel. Oh well. Long pull, cut swedge. Light pull weight on this one. Nice walk and talk, but only about a 5 pull. And then what makes an Urban Jack an Urban Jack is what they call a bar tool. I call it a mustache comb. Both implements are perfectly centered. Near mint to like new, and tube with button. You can't buy a new one. These aren't super expensive though on the secondary market. Let's go 130 shipped priority mail, 145 with an TheApostleP edge. 15 Urban Jack from the Titty line of GEC. Next up, we have one from Cooper Cutlery. It's a dollar knife. Winchester, Ohio, handmade from D2 steel in the USA. I guess the model number is RJB space BS. We just call them a dollar knife. Very interesting aesthetic, I think. You've got sort of a jig bone with an antiqued finish, and then the shield, which is kind of a federal shield, is in smooth blue bone. Bolsters and liners, stainless steel. Closed length is 3 7/16, so just about the same size as a GEC 15. Long pull, just on the mark side. You've got a single Spearpoint blade in D2. Nicely done. Walk and talk are beautiful. Centering is as well. It is near mint to like new in box. Currently out of stock at $175 web retail, and these are a bit hot. Let's go 140 like it is, 155 if you'd like it to come with my edge. That is the Cooper Cutlery dollar knife RJBBS. It's a beauty. Next up, we have one from, can't tell by the generic pouch, or I don't know, is that, yeah, that's just a pouch, but it doesn't, this knife is a hoback. It does not come with the wooden slide top box, but it does come with the COA. The Black Stallion Warhorse in conjunction with Alpha Hunter Tactical Design. Okay? We got a crew-wear blade. We got a titanium handle. Finishes battle-worn gray. Blade and handle. Want to see the knife? It's pretty interesting. Good looking handle. I see a little blue hue. I see a little black. I see a lot of gray. Kind of depends on how you turn it in the light. So it's an ano over a satin, and then it's kind of roughed up, which is why battle worn, right? Pocket clip is ambidextrous. Tip up. It is a ball bearing flipper. Has a Tanto blade. Now that is the way the blade came. That blotchiness is part of the battle-worn motif, okay? Blade length is 3 inches. Handle length is 4 5/8. Rock solid lockup. It is a steel inserted titanium frame lock, locking up just about 50%. Not wrong at all. Ooh, loves that forward choil. Yep. The back spacer is floating. See if I can, yeah, look at that. Ooh. And that's in a little bit of a more stonewashed black, I guess. Kind of like the clip. I believe it also has the Hoback rolling detent. It works fine just right where it is. Blade centering, bang, on. We're going to call it near mint, no box. These are out of stock. When they were last available, they could be purchased for $800 web retail. Saw a used one recently sold at Arizona Custom Knives for $565. This one can be yours, all in, shipped priority mail, $495 like it is, $520 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Black Stallion Warhorse from Jake Hoback. Next up, I got a little Chinese combo deal for you. We're going to call this the Chinese Budget Combo. 2 knives. The first one is from CJRB, pouch, no box. Got a cloth and some desiccant. The knife inside the pouch is the Locust, scaled in copper. Frag pattern with a smooth bolster area. Pocket clip is milled titanium tip-up ambidextrous. And I don't think that's as much a fill tab as it is the female part of the fastener assembly. Pretty cool. It is a button lock ball bearing knife that opens with a disc, and it opens beautifully. The blade is in S90V. It is a deeply swedged spear, false edge on top. Some fine little scratches right above my thumb. Somebody actually used it. Perish the thought. The blade length is 3 1/8. The handle is 4 1/8. Locks up rock solid. Ball bearing action is super free swinging. Centering is perfect. We'll call it near mint in box. That knife sells new for $140 web retail. Okay. And then we have the second knife, which does come with a box. It's from Obi. It is a Chinese knife extraordinaire. Sharp on surface, sincere in heart. That is some translated Chinese if I ever heard it. Manufacturer Shenzhen Obei Technology, O-U-B-I-E. So maybe you say that Obi. I don't know. The knife doesn't really have a name, so I'm going to call it a Quaken Tanto, with some kind of coated aluminum scales with a random sort of a rock pattern. Pocket clip, right hand tip up only. It is a ball bearing flipper. Has a pretty cool Damascus Tanto blade. I'm going to say that's probably VG10 Damascus. Yeah, see, you can see the core steel on the spine is kind of consistent. It's probably a lot like Spyderco's VG10 Damascus, but I don't know for sure. Blade length on the Obi, 3 3/8. Handle is 4 7/8. It goes, the blade disappears completely in the handle like a Quaken would. Rock solid lockup. Stainless steel liner lock, by the way. Perfect centering. Near mint to like new in box. These are available for like $36 plus on some sketchy Chinese website. So you get 140 and 36 is 176. We're going to offer you the whole shoot and match. Great brother-in-law knife, by the way, and then keep this one in your pocket. 110 plus 20 each to sharpen. The Chinese Budget Combo. Oh, next up, we have a knife with no box. It's from Osprey Knife and Tool. But before I show you the knife, it is wearing a Diomedes leather clip sheath. Looks like with tan stitching. Beautiful piece. Works well with that knife. Here is the Osprey Tusk. Bladed in CPM 154 with some, let's call them faux forged flats, a la fiddleback, right? Looks a lot like a fiddleback. Maybe they're related, I don't know. Scaled in OD green, canvas micarta, black pin, black lanyard tube, blue liners, and a tapered tang. What a beautiful little EDC fixed blade that is. Looks like less than 1/8 stock. Osprey KT etched in the spine. Yeah. Blade length 2 3/8, CPM 154. Handle 3 11/16. It kind of likes 3 fingers plus the pinky hanging off behind the horn. That's kind of what it likes the best. I wrote slight patina and spotting. It's not really. I think just a minute and some flits would clean that up. There's a spot there. A little spot up here. Yeah, very near mint. Available new for $280 for the knife. And I don't know how much Diomedes gets for these sheaths, but I bet they're not cheap, right? Let's see. Let's go $195 on this shipped priority mail. $215 with an ApostleP edge on the Osprey Tusk. Okay, next up, boys. Are you ready? From Bark River. This is a knife model with a story. Big old box. Hope you can see the label. It's the Peter Kohler designed Grizzly in 3V desert ironwood with green liners and mosaic pins. The final run. The final run. There's your leather sheath. And out comes the knife. Oh my. Oh my. Look at that beast. You got your tapered fuller. You have your 9 3/8 inch blade in CPM 3V. You have some very slight patina just from being stored in the sheath. You have this beautiful desert ironwood handle with beautiful mosaic pins, green liners. Oh my. The handle is 5 7/16, by the way. So very slight patina, near mint, in box. They ain't cheap, boys. So the story is, when Mike did the first run of these for Peter Kohler Phobos Knives, I believe. Is that right? Peter went in the shop and started kind of messing with the knives in production. The handle scales ended up being way too thin. Mike didn't like them. They had words. They sort of ran out the contract. And the last run, without Peter's fingers in it, were how Mike wanted to make them. It's a knife with a story. Anyway, they're big, they're badass, and they're never to be made again. Your price, $495 like it is, $525 with my edge. That's the Grizzly final run in ironwood and 3V from Bark River. That, my friends, brings us to the last knife in tonight's sale. It's another Barky, and it's another collab. This one with Dan Taupe of D-Taupe Knives. It's the Bravo Taupe Recon from Bark River. Lots of cool stuff going on here. First is the sheath system. So this was manufactured at Bark River, but it is a Jenna Martin Skinbender Leatherworks design. And you can tell because of the tab that protects the knife handle from the snap. And that's a good thing too, because it needs broken in. You can go vertical carry, you can go scout carry. I forget what that one does, but it does something. Anyway, you want to see the knife? Here you go. Yes, you go, Dan. That is 7.5 inches of CPM 3V with a fuller and a big old harpoon and a jimped thumb ramp and polished OD canvas micarta with orange liners. Interesting exposed tang. Go with the lanyard 2 different ways. The handle length is 5 3/8, and it's very Mike Stewart. Kind of a front heavy knife, might be a good chopper. It's got some evidence of use, but very slight. Edge isn't in horrible shape. A little bit of spotting, a little bit of patina. from Sheathware. There's the D-Taupe. Maker's Mark, first production run. Let's do, on this out of stock and fairly sought after knife, let's do $250 like it is. $280 with an Apostle P edge. And that, my friends, will bring us to the end of another weekly knife sale on the Apostle P channel. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Now go get you some deals. I'll talk to you soon.